This is the Maxoak Bluetti AC200. Bluetti calls this a portable power station, which I appreciate because some manufacturers call these devices solar generators. It's not a generator, it's a power station.
In the simplest possible terms, this is a big box of electricity plugged into the box to make things go.
If you buy one of these, you are getting, first of all, a very powerful lithium battery that is LG brand automotive class, the same type of battery cells apparently that they put in electric vehicles. A 2000 watt inverter, which can take DC and can invert it to AC, and you can use that inverter to power all sorts of appliances. Your TV sets, your blenders, your hair dryers. The battery cells are 1700 watt hours in capacity.
To figure out how long you can power a particular device, simply divide the amount of electricity required in watts into 1700. For example, the small TV requires 70 watts. 1700 watt hours divided by 70 watts equals 24.28 hours, so you could power this TV constantly for an entire day. This energy-sucking space heater eats 1400 watts, and it would chew up this battery in 1.2 hours. But this cozy heated blanket only needs 84 watts to operate, so you could run it for more than 20 hours. That should perk your ears up.
This thing has every outlet that you would want. You got 6 AC outlets. So these are the 120 volt outlets, and you can see each outlet is covered with a nice rubber cover. You've got 4 of these USB 5 volt 3 amp outlets. You've got one 60 watt USB-C outlet, so you can use that to rapid charge, for example, a laptop or any device that supports that USB-C connectivity. You've got a couple of 12 volt outlets here, another big 12 volt DC outlet there, and on top, you have 2 wireless charging outputs that are 15 watts apiece. So you can just set a cell phone or tablet that supports wireless charging on the top of the unit and rapid charge it using that surface. And this unit is equipped with a really nice LCD display screen. When you press the power button, the unit powers up and you get a really handy display that's got your time and date stamp on top. You've got your overall amount of capacity left, and you can toggle on or off DC and AC.
The touchscreen display is necessary to operate the unit. Here's where you'll turn on and off AC and DC electricity. You'll also find key information about the status of your battery.
You could charge 17 different devices simultaneously with this unit. I can't really overemphasize how powerful this beast is because you've got every outlet on here that you could possibly want. You have a huge capacity inside. You have a massive 2000 watt inverter.
This unit is mostly silent unless the small cooling fan happens to be blowing. It requires no gasoline or propane. It's a battery.
You can recharge the unit in several ways. You can see on the side of the unit, the bottom, you can feed in AC power here using the included power brick. And the power brick, by the way, is truly a brick. So this is the power brick that the unit comes with. The footprint of this device is obviously pretty large. If you have kind of a crowded space you're dealing with, this is just something to consider. This unit weighs about 50 pounds. I believe they say it's 52.5 pounds. But due to the design, it's really not that difficult to move around because they included 2 large grab handles on top, which I really like. You can recharge the unit not only using the AC input, but there's also a DC input. So you can attach solar panels to the unit, and I have here the MP120 solar panels. These are 120 watt solar panels. They fold up into 4 different segments so that they're more portable, but this thing supports up to 700 watts of input from solar. So there are a lot of different ways that you can recharge the device, and they're all pretty rapid charging. If you have an AC outlet, for example, you could recharge in, I believe, 3.5 to 4 hours. And if you have a number of solar panels, you can recharge in about the same amount of time.
You can also use the 12-volt DC outlets inside your vehicle to recharge this beast. And the unit includes all the necessary cables, complete with their own carry bag.
We've owned these lithium power stations for several years, different models over the years, and I've always been very pleased with the Bluetti models. We use them quite frequently. They're useful for all sorts of tasks, not only around a campsite, but also around the home. So if you live in an area where you occasionally have a power outage, this can be a great alternative in some ways to a generator that you can have around the house.
Something I really like about this is that it's safe to use indoors. A lot of people will get a generator for their camper, and then when they use it at home, they're sort of stuck with that issue of, oh, I've got to have this 100-foot, power cord to run in through my house to power anything if I'm going to use my generator in a power outage, because those gasoline or propane powered generators have to have really good ventilation. You can't run them in your house. They've got to be outside. So one good thing about this is if you're going to use it when you're not on the road at your home, you can just have it like in your living room and plug in laptops, computers, refrigerator, whatever you can run a cord to, and not have to worry about, a fire or exhaust fumes or that sort of thing.
Good morning. All right, let's make a smoothie. I'm using a blender, of course, but it's not really just any blender. It is a Vitamix. And those of you out there who know your kitchen equipment know that these Vitamix are really powerful blenders that are often used in professional kitchens. So in addition to making juice, they suck a lot of juice. Green stuff. Trying to fool my body into thinking I'm eating vegetables. Seems to work. All right, so I've got the smoothie ready to go. I'm going to fire up the Bluetti. And the first thing you need to do is, after pressing the power button, kick on the AC output. And the Vitamix is now getting power. Let's go and see what happens. So the initial surge took about 1,270 watts. And now it's requiring just under 1,000 watts. But obviously the blender is being powered with no issues at all. A little bit of a process. All right, let's take a look at this. Looks good. Just like normal. A lot of these lithium power stations would not power a Vitamix because you could see at one point it was requiring around 1,300 watts. So you need a pretty big inverter to power a powerful blender like this. And by the way, the Bluetti supposedly has surge power of, I believe, 4,800 watts. It's got a lot of power to spare. It really did not even break a sweat making this smoothie.
So the ultimate test for any generator we've tested has always been a hair dryer. So we're gonna do that test on this little device. So I'm gonna plug it in right here. Make sure it's nice and snug. All right, so AC is on, and I'm gonna first turn it on high fan, low heat. That's usually the setting I dry my hair on, so I just wanna see what it would do for me. So here we go. Woo. So high fan, low heat, and it's pulling 875, 895 watts. So right around that 900 mark. So if I crank the heat up, I'm gonna put it on mid heat. It's gonna bump up to that 12, 20-ish watts. And then if I go to full heat, so high heat, that's gonna bump it up to that 1550, 1560. So that's as high as it goes. And then I'm gonna crank it back down to no heat. So this is just the fan, and that's only gonna pull 216 watts. So that's pretty good. I mean,
Max it out. Show me what it is.
yeah, so max heat and max fan is putting you at that just over 1500 watts. So right at that 1550, 1560 mark. Passes the hairdryer test.
Nice.
2 thumbs up.
Didn't even flinch.
Didn't even flinch, yeah. There was no hesitation.
And now for the ultimate test. Using a dog bone adapter, we actually plugged up our entire RV to the Bluetti Beast. We thought we'd use the little monster to recharge the batteries inside our trailer.
So this is going to be a nice test for the Bluetti. Turning on AC current. Let's see what happens. We should be charging our batteries.
Most lithium power stations would have no chance whatsoever of handling this load. But the Bluetti Beast doesn't even flinch.
So now we're pulling 2100 watts from the Bluetti, rejuicing our solar.
You can see both the solar panels and the big beast ride nicely in the back seat of a truck. And my point here is this thing is pretty portable and would be perfect for a camper van or a small RV, or even if you're traveling with a vehicle and are tent camping. One thing I like about this design, it's kind of a big cube and it's flat on top. And that's something I really appreciate about having the handles flush with the body. Gives you that flat top so you can not only recharge your cell phones on it, but you could stack anything on top of it and I think it would be fine. The case is a little plasticky, but it seems like a hardy and durable plastic. And I really like these 2 grab handles on the top because you can evenly distribute the weight. Doesn't really feel like 52 pounds to me because of the logical weight distribution and the 2 grab handles. It really helps a lot. Just gonna quickly point out the obvious. It's short enough to fit beneath a pickup truck tonneau cover. So if you wanted to tote it around in the back of your truck, you can certainly do so. I would be a little concerned about the vulnerability of that screen. In fact, if there's anything about the Beast Bluetti that concerns me from a long-term perspective, it's the screen. I'd want to really protect that screen. It's a great display in terms of giving you a lot of information, but it's a little hard to read at times. This is some pretty fine print on here. Am I nitpicking? Yes, I am nitpicking, but I would have probably liked more contrasty display. Like for example, I would like to see more yellow text than the pale blue. I mean, I guess they were going with a blue color scheme here, but to me, I'd like this to be a little bit easier to read. I really hope that screen is built for longevity because without that screen, you can't operate the device. There's no other way to toggle on and off the AC and DC power other than that touch screen. So protect the screen. Overall, I think this is an absolute monster. And it would be an incredible addition to any camper van or small RV, or even a large RV if you don't have a robust solar package. You can get one of these and you're getting a lot in one convenient little bundle here. So it's 50 pounds of weight, but pretty easy to lift thanks to these grab handles. Really like this design. And it's gonna live in the back seat of Seymour. I might want to strap that bad boy in because I wouldn't want it flying around the cabin in the case of an accident.
Overall, the Bluetti AC200 is the nicest lithium power station we've tried. The current model is the AC200P, which includes a 2,000 watt-hour battery. You can click the links beneath this video to check out current reviews and the current price of this lithium power beast. Hey guys, you know we have never apologized on this channel for being patriotic. So if you are a proud member of Loloho Nation, please sign up for our email newsletter. No matter what happens in the future with various social media platforms, if you sign up for our email list, we will be able to reach you. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Loloho.